Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, Smart Money Alliance, and the IIMFL. We are excited to visit with you. We gather pretty much every Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock Central here on this Zoom conference call Bridge. And today we have a really important topic to cover, and it is some subtle refinements to the certification curriculum that we offer. First, let me tell you why we're making this change, and it's an optional change. Let me put it this way, and then we'll go through the flyer to dig a little deeper. So, as many of you are aware, we launched the entrepreneurship program, a 4-week course that can be taught in person or online. Really valuable information, and within that 4 weeks, after each training session, there is implementation. And the result is a certificate of completion for the participants, a loan package or an investor package, and great knowledge. So not changing that. But what we're seeing is that some of you aren't so comfortable teaching the curriculum. You want to help small businesses, you want to generate income, but the teaching is seeming like a bit much. So our leadership team met yesterday, and so we decided to offer this as an alternative arrangement. So it doesn't change anything that you've heard thus far about you teaching the curriculum. We'll provide you the PowerPoints, the speaker's notes, the handouts, and you can go teach it in person or online. But what we're going to do is we're going to also teach it online and be a resource for you. So this is the model whereby we will create and we're in the process of creating this curriculum in a recorded on-demand fashion. So you could enroll people into the entrepreneurship, or what we call here the small business certification. We split that income 50-50, just like we have. You would still work with them between sessions on those implementation steps that we've talked about in separate trainings. But essentially it removes you from having the burden of doing the teaching. That's the only difference. So you're paid the same, the enrollment's the same. It's just simply plugging them into on-demand lessons that we have developed and we're teaching for you. So with that, let's go ahead and go through the flyer because I think it's pretty snazzy. We worked with the University of Texas on this, by the way. All right, small business certification for aspiring and early stage entrepreneurs. Who should attend? It says entrepreneurs here that have a concept for a new business and want to start within the next 6 to 12 months. I guess that highlighting is not working out so well, but I'm here in this first paragraph, as well as startup businesses with less than 2 years in operation that want to develop a plan for more growth, profitability, and access to capital. So that's who should attend. Doesn't matter geographically where they are, doesn't matter how old they are, male or female, race, religion, none of that, of course, matters, but it's for pre-launch or early stage businesses. Make sense so far? Now, what we are making reference to is after they've completed the 4-week course, there is optional additional assistance to access a guaranteed $100,000 when these 4 weekly sessions will be available online on demand. We don't want them just to sit down and go through all 4 weeks all at one time. They need to be meeting with you between sessions to implement what they've learned. So we're not going to just say, okay, here's all 4 lessons, just go knock it out and you're done. That defeats the purpose, because this model was about educating and then implementing what they learned to their scenario, their circumstances, teaching and then implementing, and doing that over the 4-week curriculum. The cost hasn't changed a bit. 4 payments of $99, or as you know, they can pay one time of $386. It's a $2,500 value, and we're just making reference to that. So that's the headline here, and then we can drill down and look at more of the details. I can make this a little larger, so maybe it's easier to see. All right, so the small business certification training is a hands-on, in-depth, 4-week online course with personalized mentoring designed to provide practical information, tips, exercises, and tools to help you be successful. And it's the real deal. And it's very similar to the semester-long class that I taught at the college, where students paid credit hour tuition, which exceeded what our pricing is, and it took them a whole semester to knock out. All right, second paragraph. This course incorporates content from the award-winning Money Smart for Small Business, developed by the FDIC and promoted by the SBA, and was created by business management college professors, SBDC advisors, SCORE mentors, and business bankers to assist small businesses in successfully starting entrepreneurial endeavors and accessing capital to reach their potential. And again, I want to give kudos to University of Texas for helping us with this. Next paragraph. This online curriculum is taught by current or former college professors with a minimum of a graduate degree in business, like an MBA, and at least 10 years of entrepreneurial experience. So if you don't meet that criteria, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to provide the instructors for the online curriculum. That removes your burden of needing to teach it. You're still going to work with them between sessions to implement. You're still getting paid the same way, but it removes you from having the burden of teaching it, because what we're hearing, what we're seeing is it's too much for some of you. Participants will also receive personalized assistance between each of the 4 lessons to apply the material covered. So that's where you come in. So we're going to be that first sentence in this model. You're going to be the second sentence. You might say, oh, no, I want to teach it, meaning you. Perfect. You wouldn't use this flyer. You can still go out and teach it in person or online. We're not holding you back. Again, this is just meant to be an extra resource for those of you that are a little bit overwhelmed, concerned, insecure, or just prefer not to have the time involved with teaching. Also, of course, we're offering it online on demand, so it removes the burden of, oh, you're offering this class, but it's 7 o'clock on Tuesday evenings, and my kids have soccer then, or whatever. We're avoiding any excuses of timing. Now, I think in person is the best way to teach this, but that's not always going to be possible. And you could argue that a live online experience is going to be more interactive than a recorded one. I'm not here to argue any of that. This is just an option, which is removing those barriers. And then it states the Institute of Improved Minority Financial Literacy, IIMFL, is a nonprofit organization, and we were exclusively selected to administer this program, which is the case. All right, and then we summarize learning objectives. So here we're not really breaking down in great detail what they're going to learn in each week of the 4 weeks. They can see that certainly on the website. But the learning objectives include understand how to properly set up a business, regardless if you're pre-launch or a startup. That may seem not very important to you, but from our experience, a lot of people just don't know. And it's really crazy. We'll get people with these fancy looking email signatures, and they'll come to us looking like they're an all-star, right? Like they're a PhD at Harvard Business School. And in many cases, and that's exaggerating, but you know, they'll come with such branding, but when it comes to basic knowledge of how to set up a business, a lot of folks don't know. And so that's okay. We're going to fix that. We're going to resolve that problem. Number 2, we're going to help them become familiar with how to access capital with topics including building business credit. We all know that's week 2 of the curriculum, right? Avoiding common mistakes, types of capital, including debt and equity. Most small business owners don't understand the different types of capital. And so they end up just coming to this conclusion. There's one type of funding and either I qualify for it or not. And you and I know that that's not true. Third bullet, create a lender compliant business plan, which you know that we do. We're going to plug them into Live Plan, and we're going to actually develop a lender compliant or investor compliant business plan with financial projections. That's part of the deliverables. Number 4, gain familiarity on key financial management topics, including compliance, creating financial projections, legally minimizing taxation, etc. I can't tell you how many hours, I don't want to exaggerate, I wanted to say how many hours a day, but I'll say how many hours a week I find myself explaining to small business owners what the heck an interim financial statement is and how to create one, because many of them don't know. Or they'll say, well, I'm a new start business. I don't have interim financial statements. Well, there's a red flag, right? How do you have a business and not have a balance sheet? How is that even possible, right? You know that, I know that, but no one's teaching them these practical pieces of information that they're going to be asked when they go for funding. But no one's telling them this. So we're going to teach them about that. And then lastly, we'll help them understand how to gain access to a minimum of $100,000 capital raise to start or grow a business. And then we'll drive them over to the IIMFL website to enroll. So in summary, we have packaged the 4-week curriculum a little bit differently for this purpose. It doesn't replace what was previously available, but it does allow us to take the burden from you without any financial consequence to you, that will teach the curriculum online, on demand, over a 4-week period. You still make the same amount of money. You still get all the perks. You'll be working with them between sessions to implement, just as we've talked about before. You'll be writing the key person policies, making another $500,000, a couple $1,000 off of that. You'll make $196, right? Half of the $398. So you're doing quite well for yourself, but we're reducing a lot of the burden or concern that you may have of implementing this. So with that being said, I encourage you to look for small businesses that want or need help, and this curriculum is spectacular. And we'll have this available starting next week in September and moving forward. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and then we'll get to Q&A. Stand by, please.